If you study the 5 pillars of Islam, basically the Prophet ﷺ told us, these 5 pillars, if you do these 5 things, you will enter Jannah. A companion came to him and said, tell me, what's going to help me enter Jannah? If I just do these 5 things, if I just do these 5 things, and nothing else, will I enter, will that be enough? And he said, yes. Then that will be enough for you to enter Jannah. Well, what's that about? If you look and you study the 5 pillars of Islam, every single one of them is about detachment. Every single one of those 5 pillars is about detachment from something in the dunya. That's really deep. If you look at Shahada, right, the foundation of Islam, La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah is all about detachment. Because La ilaha illallah starts out with a negation. La ilaha, there is nothing worthy of worship. Nothing. Notice the construction. First you negate every other object of worship, every other ilah, and then you say illallah. Why? Because that's pure monotheism. Pure. There's nothing else. It's not Allah and, my job. It's not Allah and that other person. It's not Allah and anything else. It's nothing and then Allah. It's complete detachment first, and then attachment only to Allah. And then the second pillar is salah. Now salah is such a beautiful exemplification and training for detachment. Do you guys notice that salah happens 5 times a day, but not at the same time? You don't pray 5 prayers all at one time of the day. The 5 salawat are spread out throughout the day for a reason. You have to detach from the dunya in order to go pray 5 times a day. No matter what you're doing, whether you're in class, or you're studying, or you're involved, you're at the mall, there's a really great sale, you're watching, the Lakers, whatever you're doing, you have to detach and go pray. It is a lesson in detachment, because you can never really get too attached without having to leave it and turn back to your actual purpose. Because that's our actual purpose. Allah tells us, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Again, that negation. I did not create men and jinn except for any other purpose, except ubudiyya, except to become a slave to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, except to worship Allah. So when we're going to pray, we're going to our actual purpose. So we're leaving the dunya and going to pray, detachment. The third one, if you look at Sawm, Sawm is about detachment from what? From food and water and intimacy. So things which we naturally need, we detach ourselves from it. That's a part of the dunya. That's a detachment. Why? So you don't get too attached to the dunya, to this need, the needs of the body, right? That's dunya. That's the material world. So you don't get too attached. And then you look at zakat, detachment from what? Your money, so that you don't get too attached to it. Every single year, you have to give part of it away. And then there's hajj, detachment from what? Everything, basically. You have to leave your family, your life, your home, and you have to usually detach yourself from a whole lot of money. Like $8,000 of it, right? In order to go there. Hajj is all about detachment. Right? You leave everything. Not only do you leave your home and your family and everything, you leave your, Tommy Hilfiger, brand name, right? Because when you go to Hajj, you're just wearing 2 sheets if you're men. You're just wearing 2 sheets, and everybody looks the same. You have to detach yourself from status symbols when you go to Hajj, right? Nobody has the Mercedes brand ihram. Nobody has that. They don't sell that. You can't even have stitching. There's a reason for this. It's to detach you from these things which we get attached to.